Hello and welcome to another little Gary Goes, first one of 2024, and I am here in Istanbul, not Constantinople, just double checking. Yeah, just a little 3-4 day trip. Arrived last night, didn't get much. I'm in the Asian side of the city, that's where I'm staying in Üsküdar. So it's really chaotic over there, like that's where lots of ferries go from, but it's all pretty cool. This is on the European side, where you've got the Blue Mosque, which is just kind of peeking behind those trees, which I'm about to visit in a minute. And then the Hagia Sophia as well, which is the other side of this like park area with a lovely little fountain, which has just stopped. But that's there. Yeah, so join me on my little trip. I've just got, as I say, 2 full days and a couple of half days. So yeah, today I'm just going to do the main sites. Obviously Istanbul's absolutely massive, but there's 5 or 6 main sites that I definitely have to check off. First one being the Blue Mosque, and obviously grab some food. And yeah, I think tomorrow I might have a little trip out to an island, the Prince's Island. But anyway, quick shout out to my newest subscriber, Rory. Hello, Rory. Hope you're enjoying this video. And yeah, apologies. So I did have a cap, which was kindly purchased for me to start a merch line for Gary Goes, and I've forgotten it. So I've just got my standard Deuce and Bears soul cap instead. But anyway, hope that doesn't put anyone off. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the forthcoming sights of Istanbul. Yeah, check you out in a bit. So just to backtrack slightly, this is one of the many ferries that go, well, crisscross the Bosphorus really. I was massively surprised how many ferries there are. I mean, at any point you cross in, there's 5, 6, 7 or 8 ferries that are also going. You can see a few of them there. Yeah, like I say, they crisscross it completely from the Asian to the European side. And this was the first ferry that I got to Eminönü, I think, which is the closest ferry terminal to the Blue Mosque and the Hagia Sophia, all over there in the kind of old town in the European side. So yeah, this is my little tour of the little mini ferry. It takes about 15-20 minutes max. Some of them have got little cafes, toilets and stuff, but otherwise it's just your standard seating. But of course, on a relatively decent day, it makes sense to be outdoors. So yeah, this is the crossing literally from Asia to Europe in 15 minutes over the water. So yeah, fantastic way to start my day of exploration. And you can just get some idea really here of the absolute mega size of Istanbul. I mean, this area that I'm showing you here is probably like not even a fifth of the city. This is kind of the main area, I suppose. As I say, I'm leaving from the Asian side, Üsküdar, and then just above there, that's the old town, and then there's the other European bit, but then it stretches like both sides of the Gulf, not the Black Sea side, kind of the other side as it goes out to the Gulf of Marmaris. But each way, like when I went out on the ferry the following day, you just see it just stretches and stretches for as far as you can see. Both airports are at opposite ends of the city, and yeah, I mean, it's just massive, much bigger than London, Paris, any other city like that really. So yeah, this is the crossing. I've just gone past the Maiden's Tower, which was famous from The World Is Not Enough, the Bond movie. And this is heading across, as I say, straight ahead there. You can see the sites of the old town, which was the original kind of heart of Constantinople. And then yeah, just above there, that is the Blue Mosque and the Hagia Sophia, which I will go back to very shortly. And then yeah, this whole area is probably the centre of Istanbul. 2 of the most famous buildings. This is the Hagia Sophia, which was built as a church, I think about 500 AD, was then converted into a mosque, and then was a museum, I think, for about 100 years, before only recently becoming a mosque again. And then that is the Blue Mosque, Sultanahmet, I believe is the official name, and that is seriously impressive. That was built in, I think, around the 17th century. And here is the courtyard as you enter. Absolutely stunning building. Completely free to enter. They do ask for a donation, but otherwise, yeah, I mean, you can see how popular it is. Really, really stunning. And yeah, the Hagia Sophia, I didn't go inside there. I think recently, I think it's free for Turkish citizens, but we were charging, I think, 25 euros. So yeah, decided not to go in there, but amazing from the outside at least. And yeah, this is just inside the absolutely stunning blue mosque. I mean, the tiles and everything, absolutely incredible. The stained glass. Obviously doesn't do it justice in a video, but absolutely worth a trip, and as I say, completely free. And that kind of box area there with the windows, that's where the sermons are read from, which is pretty cool. And then this chandelier was just absolutely out of this world. Yeah, and very comfy, very carpeted. You had to take your shoes off, which then I realised that my sock had a hole in it, but you know, what are you going to do? Definitely worth a trip. And then not far away from either of the mosques, this for me was definitely one of the highlights of the trip. Absolutely phenomenal. This is the Basilica System, which was built in Roman times. I think most of these pillars are Roman, and then kind of forgotten about, and then I believe reopened then around the 1500s for the Sultanate, and it's Constantinople. And yeah, basically, effectively it was where it gathered condensation under the city. You know, it's sort of 20 feet or so down. As you see at the bottom there, all that water, and that would then be used for drinking water eventually for the whole palace, for the Sultan. So yeah, really, really atmospheric. They've definitely made the most of this, you know, the lighting, and there's a few little sort of modern art sculptures around about the place, but you know, effectively it's just the feel of it and the amount of people there, but it still didn't detract from just how evocative it was walking around down there. So yeah, again, I'd say it was super expensive. It was maybe a 15, 16 pound, probably had about an hour there, but absolutely worth the trip for sure. Definitely something I'd put on your itinerary. And yet another highlight of the day, this definitely more than lived up to expectations. This was the area around the Grand Bazaar, which is all built around this mosque. And yeah, I mean, I expected it to be impressive with different spices and antiques and stuff, but yeah, really, really impressed me. Let's just say the building itself, all of the kind of alleyways and covered arches, again, that amazing tile work, it was kept cool. Yeah, really, really effective. Like walking back in time, so much variety, different areas had different things. Yeah, absolutely well worth a trip. And yeah, I'll just kind of walk you through so you can see for yourself exactly what it's like.
Bravo. Herife şey yaparsın ha. Neyse de bak yaparsın yani.
Abi yaparlar bunu biliyorsun. Teşekkür ederim. Kolay gelsin.
And then the final kind of must-see attraction in that area is the Galeta Tower, although technically that's over the Golden Horn. But yeah, as you can see, it is currently closed for some kind of renovation. But again, I think like most of these things, it's probably most impressive from the outside. So I had to check it out anyway. But yeah, if I went back, that's definitely on my list. This is definitely one of the most bizarre things I saw. So a really popular street food in Istanbul is called kumpir, which is effectively like a jacket potato with cheese and then like loads and loads of different toppings that you can get. But this is kind of the place that's known for it, down again on the river a bit further out of town. But every single one of those stalls was exactly the same. Random, but really nice. And then I had one of those and then had a healthy little fish dinner out in the Asian side, which was really cheap and really tasty. And yeah, just a few more shots from Üsküdar, looking over to the European side at night, which was yeah, really pretty, really evocative. There's still a bit of smog in the air, but yeah, still you can look over there to the Blue Mosque and the old town. Beautiful. And yeah, day two, so, well, full day two, I guess it was day three that I was in Istanbul, and decided to take a trip out on a ferry over to one of the Prince's Islands. There's a couple of them, and yeah, this was absolutely fantastic thing to do. Heartily recommend it. About an hour and a half each way on the ferry, and yeah, some really great views as you go past of the Topkapi Palace, which I didn't manage to go and see. It was a really good view from the river as you go out into the Gulf of Marmara, and then head over to the Prince's Islands. Hello. Well, I've just taken a little trip out of the city and it couldn't be more different. This is one of the Prince's Islands, the biggest. I think it's Buada. It is an hour and a half on a ferry boat trip. Yeah, it's about £8 or £9, so absolute bargain. And it's so different to the city. I mean, it's absolutely chaotic there. And as you can see here, just stunning. It is like being on a Turkish holiday, which I suppose I am. So yeah, you dock at the main town where there's lots of restaurants and, I don't know, ice cream places and cafes and things. But it doesn't take long to walk out. There's not many cars here. I think the police have them and a couple of work cars, but otherwise it's all electric vehicles and bikes. So you can hire them, or there's a little buggy bus thing that goes round. But I just walked it and it was about an hour, just under an hour, to this lovely place here, which I can't remember the name of, but it's like a picnic spot. You have to pay to get in here. It's right on this kind of promontory, but it was only about £1. And yeah, it's gorgeous. Lots of park benches. I mean, it's quiet today. It's a weekday at the end of April, so it's not too busy, but it's absolutely stunning. So yeah, I'm gonna get myself some lunch, have a wander back. The ferry kind of goes every hour or so. So yeah, not too bad. Just seen some dolphins here as well, which are gorgeous. So yeah, I'm going to take a slow wander back and get some food, I think. And this was a super cool, really chilled out outdoor cafe just up on the hill with some amazing views and some awful music and a really tasty kofte sandwich. And back after my day away from the city of the Princess Islands. This is kind of more modern part of the city, still in the European side, but not in the old town. I think they've just quite recently built like a cruise ship terminal there. So there's lots of higher end shops. That's the kind of modern art gallery. Obviously there's a clock tower here, which obviously is older. And yeah, all these restaurants and shops and things, which, you know, was okay, but didn't really feel like what you'd expect Istanbul to be. And I decided to eat at Popeyes, which I do love a bit of Popeyes chicken, but yeah, I think it was like 35 minutes from ordering to getting the food, so yeah, not the best. Obviously it's still all quite new, and it's all really weird when you go in. There's lots of security, even just to walk along the kind of promenade, just didn't feel great. But anyway, some great views back. That's over towards the Asian side there. So yeah, if you were going to go for a bar or a higher end restaurant, this is definitely the place to see, be seen, eat, drink. Yeah, just not really sort of what you'd think of as Istanbul, but yeah, anyway, if that's your cup of tea, it was fine. And you know, if you want to drink, you're a bit limited in choices anyway. So that is pretty much it from my Istanbul trip. This is the subway heading back to the Istanbul airport on the European side, which is all very modern. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video as much as I've enjoyed making it for you. There's plenty more available on my channel, hopefully some more coming up soon. Thank you for watching, goodbye.